one of the things that I'm asked a lot about racing is, have you ever crashed? And the short answer is, yes, I've crashed. You are pretty much going to go off the racetrack at some point in time if you're going to race long enough. So here's the crash story in a nutshell. At the time, I was racing with a Corvette Grand Sport, which has a much smaller engine than some of the ones I was looking at. This is actually a picture from that day of the car before I destroyed it. And I felt bad because I really was enjoying having that car. So my car has a lot of aero, so it has a big spoiler in the back and a big splitter in the front, which is great for handling and maneuverability because the downforce on the aero keeps you stuck on the ground and gives you great handling, but it slows you down because of the lag as far as speed. I've never raced at Daytona before. Yes, it's legendary and I've always wanted to do it. Not the most technical track, but it's definitely a go fast track. So after a few laps, I, for the first time ever, while I was on the track, saw the brand new C8 Corvette, the first rear engine, mid-engine Corvette in 70 years of Corvette history. So I wanted to see that Corvette C8 on the racetrack since it first came out. This was the first time I ever saw one on the track. And so I get in behind him and now I'm chasing after him. And I had done a few laps, my tires were going a little bit, and I came in just way too hot into one of the turns. I got a little bit loose and then I slid out off to the right and I hit the grass, and at that point it's all over. I mean, you have no control and I'm just spinning around, and then I cut across the track and I came into the wall at about 100 miles an hour and just demolished the car, unfortunately. And this is a car that Bob Brown and Ben Brown at XP Motorsports had really built for me. And it was great. I was having a ton of fun. It was naturally aspirated, so I didn't have any of the overheating issues, and I just demolished that wall. And ironically, Bob knew one of the corner workers there, and that corner worker just randomly had reached out to Bob and was like, yeah, really bad crash, a black Corvette. And I think Bob said, was he number 80? And the guy said, yeah, he was. He goes, almost killed me. He came into the wall so fast right where I was, I had to duck for cover. So Bob gave me a call and he's like, you have trouble there at Daytona? He said, yeah, it might have gone and seen a little bit of the grass and might have made friends with the wall for a little bit. And I sent him a picture of the damage and the car was demolished. And when he saw what that car looked like, he basically looked at me and he said, the fact that you're not in the hospital right now is remarkable. And he goes, are you hurt? I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. My ribs are all banged up. He's like, well, we're done unless the next car you're putting a cage in, because the speeds you're going and the pace you're going, bad things can happen. And if they do, I need to make sure you're safe, because safety is always going to be number one. And it was an important lesson because even the cars I've had subsequent to that, we do safety first. Harness, 5-point, cage is a different ballgame, because if you're going to cage it, it's not street legal. Mainly because if you have a big cage behind you while you're driving on the road and you get in an accident, you're banging your head on the cage. Yeah, it's probably not a good thing. And of course, the other part of that is get right back on the horse. The second I got my next car after that, it was probably like a year before I found the right one. I've got a fire suppression system in there. I've got a 5-point harness system in there. Bob has created this car to be as safe as possible. My first day back, right back there at Daytona, because you get right back on the horse and you can't let it get in your mind. And I had a great day that day, had a ton of fun. That car actually had more power, so I did get some good speeds that day. That's my one and only main crash, and hopefully it's the only one I have, and hopefully I learned my lesson.